What if the very fabric of morality as we know it is a grand illusion, a mere tool for the powerful to control the weak? This is the world according to Niccolò Machiavelli. In the annals of philosophy, few figures are as enigmatic and controversial as Niccolò Machiavelli, the Italian Renaissance political philosopher whose writings have left an indelible mark on our understanding of power and politics. Born in the heart of the Renaissance, Machiavelli's works, particularly The Prince, have become synonymous with cunning and ruthless tactics in the pursuit of power, thereby shaping the landscape of political theory. His philosophies have sparked heated debates, with some seeing him as a champion of realpolitik, while others view him as a harbinger of moral corruption. His ideas have not only influenced countless leaders and thinkers, but have also challenged our fundamental understanding of morality and its role in society. Brace yourself as we delve into the mind of possibly the most dangerous philosopher in history. Born in the heart of Florence in 1469, Machiavelli's life was as complex as his philosophy. This Renaissance man was born in a time of great turbulence, as Italy was a patchwork of warring city-states, each vying for dominance. Growing up, young Niccolò was exposed to the classics, studying the works of ancient Greek and Roman philosophers, which would later serve as the foundation for his own theories. Machiavelli's political career began in earnest when he was appointed as a civil servant in the Florentine Republic, a position that allowed him to observe the machinations of power up close. He served as a diplomat, traveling to the courts of France and Rome, bearing witness to the political strategies of powerful leaders such as Cesare Borgia. However, Machiavelli's fortunes took a drastic turn in 1512 when the Medici family, a powerful dynasty, regained control of Florence. Accused of conspiracy against the Medici, Machiavelli was arrested, tortured, and subsequently exiled to a small farm just outside of Florence. Stripped of the political life he had known, Machiavelli turned to his pen to make sense of his experiences. His exile years became a period of deep introspection and prolific writing where he reflected on the nature of power, leadership, and morality. It was during this time that he penned his most famous work, The Prince, a pragmatic guide for rulers that challenged conventional morality. Machiavelli's views on power were deeply influenced by his personal experiences. He saw firsthand how power could be gained, maintained, and lost. He understood that leaders often had to make difficult decisions, ones that might appear cruel or unethical, but were necessary for the preservation of their rule. His philosophy was not one of idealism, but of stark realism, a reflection of the tumultuous times he lived in. His life experiences were a fertile ground for the birth of his radical ideas. From the vibrant streets of Florence to the quiet solitude of his exile, each chapter of Machiavelli's life added a new layer to his complex philosophy, a philosophy that continues to provoke and challenge us to this day. The Prince, Machiavelli's magnum opus, is a guidebook for rulers, a manual for power. Penned down in the early 16th century, this work is still held in high regard, studied and analyzed for its deep insights into the anatomy of power. At its core, The Prince explores the nature of power. Power, as per Machiavelli, is not merely a tool wielded by the ruler, it is the very essence of his existence. It is fluid and ever-changing, and a ruler must be adaptable to maintain it. Power is not static. It ebbs and flows, and the ruler must ride this tide, steering it to his advantage. Next, we delve into the role of morality in politics. Machiavelli's perspective on this is rather controversial. He argues that the moral compass guiding an individual and a ruler should not be the same. A ruler's morality is shaped by the pressing need to maintain power and ensure the stability of his state. This might require actions that conventional morality might frown upon. But remember, in the realm of power, survival is the ultimate morality. And this brings us to the most contentious theme in The Prince, the concept of the ends justifying the means. To secure power, to maintain it, and to ensure the welfare of the state, a ruler must sometimes employ ruthless tactics. Yes, this might seem harsh, but Machiavelli argues that the end goal of a stable state justifies the means used to achieve it. This, in essence, is the crux of The Prince. It is a manual on power politics rooted in the harsh realities of the world, stripped of idealistic notions. It's a guide for rulers who wish to rule effectively, not just morally. It's not about being a good person, it's about being a good ruler. Machiavelli's The Prince challenges conventional morality, proposing a ruthless approach to power. It forces us to question our notions of right and wrong, pushing us to consider the unique and challenging landscape of power and politics. Machiavellianism, a term derived from Machiavelli's name, is now synonymous with cunning, deceit, and manipulation. This is the lasting legacy of a man who, centuries ago, penned his thoughts on power and how to maintain it. His ideas, far from being confined to the dusty pages of history, continue to permeate our world and influence our actions, often without us even realizing it. Let's consider the political arena. Machiavelli's philosophy has shaped strategies for generations of leaders, from monarchs to modern-day politicians. The concept of the end justifies the means, which many attribute to him, has been used to justify actions ranging from benign to downright malevolent. It's a principle that allows leaders to prioritize their goals over the means of achieving them, sometimes even at the expense of ethics and morality. Now let's move from the political stage to the world of business. Here, Machiavellian tactics are often used in the pursuit of power and profit. Business leaders may employ manipulation, strategic deception, and a keen focus on self-interest, all guided by Machiavelli's philosophies. It seems that his teachings have found a home in boardrooms across the globe, influencing decisions that shape the economic landscape. But what about us, the everyday people navigating our lives? Well, Machiavellianism impacts us too. It's present in the manipulation tactics some use to gain advantage or control in personal relationships. It's there in the competitive strategies employed in our careers, in our approach to social dynamics, even in the way we navigate social media. Yet, it's important to remember that Machiavelli's philosophy is not all about manipulation and deceit. It also emphasizes adaptability, the ability to read and respond to changing circumstances, a trait that is undeniably valuable in our ever-evolving world. The legacy of Machiavelli continues to influence our world, often in disturbing ways. However, it's up to us to decide how we interpret and apply his teachings. After all, power in itself is neutral. It's how we use it that makes all the difference. So why does Machiavelli earn the title of the most dangerous philosopher? His philosophy, often seen as a radical departure from traditional thought, challenges societal values and ethics, forcing us to confront uncomfortable realities about the pursuit of power. His work, The Prince, is not just a manual for rulers, but a mirror held up to society, reflecting the harsh, unvarnished truths about humanity's thirst for power. Machiavelli's philosophy is dangerous because it's raw and unfiltered. It discards the comforting blanket of traditional morality and instead unabashedly promotes manipulation and cunning as tools for gaining and maintaining power. This stark, unapologetic approach has made many uncomfortable. Yet it's this discomfort that makes his philosophy so influential, so powerful, and so dangerous. He argues that leaders, to be successful, must be willing to do whatever it takes to maintain power, even if it means compromising on ethics or personal morality. This kind of thinking in the wrong hands can lead to tyranny and oppression. It's a philosophy that can be easily manipulated to justify atrocities in the name of power. However, it's important to remember that Machiavelli's philosophy is not a call for immoral behavior, but a critique of the hypocrisy inherent in power structures. He simply strips away the veneer of virtue that often cloaks the ugly realities of power. His philosophy is a warning, a cautionary tale of what happens when the pursuit of power goes unchecked. Machiavelli's philosophy also forces us to question our own values. It makes us ask ourselves tough questions about our own moral compasses. Would we, given the chance, compromise our ethics for power? How far would we go to maintain our status, our influence, our control? Machiavelli's philosophy, whether you agree with it or not, forces us to question our deeply held beliefs about power and morality. It's a dangerous philosophy, not because it encourages immorality, but because it forces us to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world we live in. Machiavelli, a radical thinker, a dangerous philosopher, or simply a realist? As we journeyed through the life and legacy of this enigmatic figure, we've grappled with his unsettling perspective on power and morality. From his origins in the politically tumultuous Florence to his controversial guidebook for rulers, Machiavelli has challenged us to confront the uncomfortable realities of power and leadership. Poring over his audacious philosophy, we've explored just why his ideas have earned him the title of the most dangerous philosopher. His provocative notions push us to question our own beliefs, challenging the traditional concepts of good and evil. They force us into a disconcerting reflection on the nature of power and the lengths at which one might go to secure it. Engaging with Machiavelli's ideas, as controversial as they may be, is crucial to our understanding of the complex dynamics of power and morality. In the end, perhaps the most dangerous thing about Machiavelli is his ability to make us question everything we thought we knew about morality and power.